Pete, firstly, how are you?
All right, mate. How are you?
Yeah,
Been a while.
I'm good. Yeah, it's 8 months, I think.
Is it 8 months?
Yeah, that's when I last checked.
God, that's ages ago.
We're now over halfway into the season.
Yes.
Both teams.
Yes.
Both doing quite well.
Yes. Very, very happy. Both teams ahead of our expectations. This, I think, was the first season for both where we didn't go in with the direct goal of doing everything we can to win the league. And if somebody's watching, I think it's important to put that into perspective. Is that with both the men's and the women's for the last 3 seasons for the men's and for the last 2 for the women's, we set a budget and a structure with the direct goal of winning the league. And as much as we still want to win the league with the 2 of them, we know it's a different challenge. So the goal with the women's side, I said Charlie at the start of the season, was look, top half would be incredible for us as long as we didn't get relegated. That would be progress, but top half would be incredible. And I think we're 4th at the moment.
Yeah, women are 4th, men are 7th with 5 games in hand.
Yeah, and I think with the women's, they're legitimately 4th. I don't think there are any teams below us that are better than us. And I do think Plymouth, Watford and Bournemouth have set the pace, all excellent sides. I'm sure we'll talk about that. And then with the men's, I would have snapped your arm off at the start of the season. You offered me 5th place. You said playoffs. I would have snapped your arm off because I think we found step 3s are very different prospects from 6, 5 and 4. 4 was tough. We had a very good... Well, we've had a good battle every year. There's rugby in the first season and MK Irish in the second season, Burko last year. But this year, we were going in knowing that we had Spalding, Harborough, who both have been in that division, been close and want it. Kettering want it. And there's just other good sides in there. And I would say legitimately the top 8, 9, 10 sides are all good sides. So I think if we win our games in hand, even if we win like 3 of our games in hand, or 2 of them, we're up to 3rd or something. And so would I say we're certainly in the top 5 best sides in that division. But if I think we've got a very good shot of making the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. So let's focus on the men's team for now. Let's start at the beginning of the season. They had a bit of a difficult start, facing quite a few of the top sides of the league. Sorry, It was, I think, 4 draws, was it, on the first 5 games, something like that?
So we won our first game against Spalding, which I think, if we were honest, we were very happy with that. Spalding were probably the better, well, not probably, were the better side. We were in the game, but to win that was a great opening. And then I don't think we won in 7, including the 2 cup games against Bishop Stortford. But one of the things we have to remember is we had very few new signings. I mean, I can't remember how many new signings were in the starting lineup for that first game, maybe 2 or 3?
I think 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3. And we've got players. I mean, we started the season with a player with us in step 6. And we had players from step 5 and step 4. And so most of that team was a team that won step 4. I don't think if we'd have, say we skipped 5, gone straight to 3, I don't think we would have expected to win it. So and this is a testament to all the work that Rob does and his team does to develop a playing style and a team that plays good football and works together. But it was a tough 6 games. I was never concerned. I have 100% faith in Rob. He's the best manager in non-league football, if you ask me. And the reason I wasn't concerned is I think every game we got better. And it was funny enough, it was actually the Bishop Stortford Cup game away. I know we lost 1-0, but if we're honest, we battered them all game. We just couldn't score. I think they had one or 2 chances and they scored one of them. And but I knew at that point we were good, and I think it was after that we went to 12 games and 11 wins.
Yeah, 11 unbeaten.
11 unbeaten. And we had 1 draw against Barwell.
Yeah, just 1.
And we were 2-0 up with 15 minutes to go. And I think of all the games at the end of the season, we'll look back and see those as points we shouldn't have dropped. Saying that, we felt we should have beaten Hell's Owen. But Rob brought some new players in. Hilly in midfield, who I think had an instant impact. First game he was in, he was excellent in the pivot. He brought in Kingy in goal, which mean, Tyler's been, I won't hear a bad word said about Tyler. He's been a great servant to the club across, I mean, he's played in 4 divisions for us. But Kingy, with his experience playing, I think he had 4 appearances for Luton, I'm pretty sure, in cup games. And, he's played high level and his experience has been really useful. And that run was incredible. We had a tough December. I felt a bit hard done by. Leaston was a weird one. But them going down to 10 men and us 1 down, I thought we'd get back in it, and we didn't. Fair play to them. Spalding, I think we could have nicked it. I went to their place 3-3, and we were 3-2 up, and thought we could have nicked that. And then St Ives, I mean, that was such a weird game. And we dominated the game. We just couldn't finish. I mean, if Archie puts us 1 up, it's a different game. But we lost that. But it was great the other night to come back, and obviously I missed the game because of traffic, which was frustrating. But the 3-1 win over... Who did we play the other night?
We played AFC Sudbury.
Sudbury, yeah. It's good to get back into winning form. So if you look at the fixtures ahead, I'd expect us to be able to collect some good points over the rest of this month and next month. And I think come April, we'll be up there. I'm really interested to play Harborough. I'm looking forward to that. We haven't played them yet. They're setting the pace. Very good side. Look, playoffs will be great. I would love playoffs. I don't know if I could go, though. Do you get nervous?
Every game I get nervous, yeah.
Really?
Always want to win, yeah.
So I remember the first season, I used to get really bad to the point where I felt like my heart wasn't beating some games, and I was just, it was really not good. And it was after the Biggleswade, I think it was the second season, after the Biggleswade game in the FA Vars, went to penalties. And I was just a mess, just nervous. And I made a decision at that point. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to accept every result for what it is. But playoffs, man, that would be...
I don't think anyone's ready for that.
No, it would because so much rests on it. I just don't think I could enjoy it. It's not fun. So yeah, but I think we'll do it. I think we'll make playoffs, and I think big shout out to all the players for working so hard. Shout out to Lee Watkins, he's a great skipper, and across the team, the players are brilliant. I don't really want to pick anyone out, but it's an excellent team, and it's predominantly a team that won us the division last season.
After that Redditch game, when we lost 2-0, that was when we went on the 11-game unbeaten streak.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that after the Bishop Stortford game?
It was, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
What do you think changed then?
I think there's a few things. There's a couple of signings have made a difference. I also think you've got to adapt to a division. I mean, it's probably a better question for Rob. If Rob, he would have a different answer, so I don't want to answer for him because he would know better. But what it seemed like to me was just adapting to the league, the players believing in themselves and understanding that they're good enough. And that's what seemed to happen. It's just they started to pick up results and realise they're a very good football inside. I mean, most places we go, people say we're an excellent football inside. We're one of the best sides they've played against, or the best side they've played against. And it just goes back to Rob with his focus as a manager on building a squad that allows him to put out different teams for different games and have a style of play which allows us to win at this level. But I think what the big difference is what we're not seeing in previous seasons is we're not having those 4-0s, 5-0s, 7-1s, what used to happen. You really have to take your chances and you really can't make mistakes. Games can be won on a moment. And, I mean, Barwell, we're 2-0 up. Game should be done. They get a chance, score, and then they get the equaliser. It's just very unfortunate. It was a game we shouldn't have drawn. But then you go to Needham, 0-0. I think when we left that game, we felt lucky. There are a lot tighter games, and anyone can beat anyone. We saw Stourbridge beat Harborough. I mean, genuinely, anyone can beat anyone. This is the level we're at now, and that's what I expect as you go through the leagues. I think if we get to step 2, that will be similar. I've gone to watch Bedford Town a few times this season. The standard football's great. They've done incredibly well. Compliments over there to Birchie. There's just less and less chances, and so. I think the difference is just the players and Rob, and they've just had enough time to adapt. Been very impressed.
I was thinking before this interview about the league, and it's almost a bit like the Premier League. Every team are a threat, like you said.
Yes.
Every single team. And it relies on squads as well, like the game against AFC Sudbury, where Archie Jones came on and completely changed the game.
Yeah, but you look at that game. I mean, we could have been 3-4 up in the first half.
Yeah.
Did we go in 1 up?
1-0, yeah.
I mean, they scored a goal at the end. There is a scenario where you draw that game.
Mm-hmm.
If you just don't take your chances, and that's the level we're at now. Where there were games in 4, 5, and 6, you would go into, certainly 5 and 6, you'd go into going, we're just going to win this game. And you would, and it'd be 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, whatever. That just doesn't, I mean, what's our highest score this season?
God,
We get 4 in a game?
We must have, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact scores, but there's just less of that. I mean, I think I've only seen one massive score this year. I think, was it Spalding put 7 past, was it Redditch? Or Corn? I can't remember. I think it might have been Redditch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just don't have those scores anymore. Every team is a threat. Every team can beat you on their day. I mean, these are good football. If you're playing step 3 football, you're a good footballer. You know, it doesn't matter which team you're playing for, you're a good footballer. If you're playing for a Spalding or Harbury, you probably are a player that could be playing step 2. And certainly a number of our players could be playing step 2. But even if you're playing at a Stourbridge or a Sudbury, you're a decent footballer. You know, you've got a good infrastructure around you. You're going to have a good manager. There's a significant. I think it's the biggest jump so far.
Yeah.
It feels like 6 to 5 to 4, 6, 5, and 4 felt like the step up from not essentially Sunday League, and now it feels like 3, 2, and 1 are the step into real semi to professional full-time football. I mean, you got full-time teams, a few around the country at step 3, but certainly step 2, a lot of full-time sides. This is proper football. But what I will say, Seb, is like, as much as 6, 5, and 4 were great, these wins mean more. Like every single win, you feel like, wow, we earned that. That was great. You go away with a real pleasure. Whereas the other leagues, you just get, I don't want to be, it sounds bad saying this, but it felt a bit easy at times. Yeah. And none of these, Sudbury the other night, that's a game. Tuesday night, it's a long drive. Yeah, that's a demanding on players who've been to work. There's a world where you go there and you don't win. And I'm grateful we got 3 points and we go on to Saturday.
Yeah, we now have a busy period ahead. We've got a lot of postponed games to play. Yeah. It's going to be a real test on the team. And like Rob said on Tuesday, that there's a lot of rotation going to happen. A lot of players, different lineups. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we've got a great squad. I mean, every game you look at the bench and it's a strong bench. I mean, Archie Jones on the bench, Sam Cartwright on the bench, Tom Hitchcock on the bench. Like these are good players. And so having the ability to rotate the players and still go out and win, and have players who can play in multiple positions. I mean, we've seen JD play in defence, but also play in the pivot. We've seen Drew play in the pivot and also play in the defence. We see Jacko that Rob plays in. Sometimes he plays in that kind of left back that goes into the midfield. It's a great thing he's done. He's got players who can play in multiple positions. And so, yeah, look, we've got an excellent squad. We've added to it well. And, just got to keep ticking these games off. And like I say, hopefully come the end of the season, we'll be up there competing for the players. Maybe higher. Never know.
Hopefully. Should we move on to the women's now?
Yes.
So the women, they've had a great start to Tier 3.
Yeah. I mean, Tier 3 is a tough division because you look at the WSL and the Championship, that is professional women's football. All teams are full-time. And Championship is hard. A lot of teams are going up and coming straight back down. Same with Championship, WSL coming straight back down. And you're in there with big names. I mean, we are one of the smallest names in that division. Bournemouth have got a great setup. Watford have got a great setup. And you see them when they turn up at our place or when we go to theirs. These are clubs who are just way ahead of where we are. And, I spoke to Charlie at the start of the season. I said, look, the goal's top half. That would be incredible. But, inside, I just want to stay in the division, which will get tougher over the years because the women's game is compressing. Yeah, you look at what Brentford are doing. You look at what Fulham are doing. I mean, Fulham want to win that division below us. And so they'll likely join us in Tier 3 next year. It's going to compress. So it's going to get harder. But there was a moment we were looking at going, hold on, we could get second here and make the playoffs. And again, it had a similar start to the men in that first game against Wimbledon. I was away. I think I FaceTimed in and saw us score the winner in the last minute. But then it also had a tough run of games. We had that Cheltenham 4-1 defeat at home. And I thought this was going to be tough. And then again, also went on an excellent run, had a good run in the League Cup. And I think we can legitimately finish fourth. I think there's what's the points? What's the difference between us and third?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure right now.
We have got to play Bournemouth twice, though. But look, the truth is we've got a great draw against Watford, and we could have nicked that at the end. Plymouth, we saw they out just with the better side. We've got to play Bournemouth twice, which will be tricky. But look, it'll come down to how do we do against Lewis? How do we do against the teams around us? But if we finish fourth, I will be over the moon. And again, look, added really well to that squad. Sophie Byram's had an unbelievable season, an exceptional talent. Mellis, is it Mellis?
Yeah.
Mellis has come in the midfield, and also when Mellis has come in and opened up Rushy, and I think that midfield. I mean, the game the other day at Cheltenham, the 5-1, was it 5-1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mellis, Rushy, and Woody just ran that game. I mean, they couldn't get the ball off us. So I'm over the moon with what's happening with the women's game, with the women's team. Our challenge now for men's and women's is the infrastructure, just trying to keep up with what the teams have been doing. But I'm very, very happy. Charlie's done an excellent job there.
We are 8 points off first, by the way. I think they're on 30 and we're on 22.
Okay.
That's right.
8 points off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a breakaway group then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see us breaking into that group. But if we finish fourth, what a thing to build upon. We would at some point want to have a go and get into the championship. But the thing about the championship is if you have a go, you've got to change a lot of your infrastructure. You've got to go full time. And then in doing that, you want to stay in there. And I don't want to... I know what we need to do to win Tier 3. Budget-wise, it's not significantly more, but infrastructure-wise and cost to go into the championship and stay in there is huge. And we're not ready for that yet. But in the next, I don't want to put a time scale on it, but in my head, I know when I want to be there. But what I do hope is, I think the women's side of the game isn't really run particularly well by the FA. I think they make a lot of mistakes. And one of them they're making is they're not making the divisions big enough. The amount of weekends we have with no football is ridiculous.
Yep.
The girls want to play, and we're having friendlies instead. We used to travel. We're happy to travel. Other clubs are happy to travel. And so I just think they could do some work to get these divisions up to 14, maybe 16 sides. And so we can have more games. If not, put another cup competition in. We need more games of football. But look, for now, it's just staying here at Tier 3. It means we're in the top 48 teams in the country. But being fourth, we're really in the top kind of 40 teams in the country, which, I mean, is incredible for a club of our size.
Yeah. You mentioned the FAWNL Cup earlier. We played Burnley, obviously a full-time team. It's great to see what we could potentially be playing against a full-time team.
Yeah, like Burnley, that's a proper club, run really well. Their setup is incredible, and I think we saw the difference that day. For us it would have required something special to win that. They're doing very well, and they're in the northern section, which is I think is a bit tougher. But you could see the difference there. It wasn't a game where you're like, if we'd have done this, we could have won. They were just a more established side with the better infrastructure. Are they full time? I think they are.
I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but we're not far off that. But it's the names. We're talking about Burnley, Watford, Bournemouth, Plymouth, sides that have got men's teams in the Premier League or the Championship or have been there, and for me, it's just kind of cool. That's who we're playing. Bournemouth are going to come to our ground. So yeah, no, look, it's very exciting.
So you mentioned obviously Watford in there. We had an amazing 1-1 draw with them. Do you think that shows the potential we have against teams like Bournemouth when we play them next?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't, because Watford are up there, right? I don't know if they had an off day and we had an on day. I don't know if we just slightly outperformed and they underperformed. First 20 minutes in, we were 1 down. I thought it was going to be a tough day. But, we got hold of the ball and we started competing. We got the deserve. By the time we got the equaliser, we deserved it. It was great. I think it was Brion put the ball in for Loggy, and then we looked like we might nick it. I think with a few more recruits, not much, but if we can find a couple more players in the summer, we can go into those games thinking we can win these. Like right now, the 1-1 draw with Watford, I was chuffed. I would have snapped your arm off it beforehand. But we're not far off these clubs.
Yeah, and we've now got 10 more days until the next women's game.
Who have we got next?
We've got Lewis at home.
See, that's an important one because when we played over at theirs, I thought we were the better side first half. We just couldn't create. But I look at that a bit like Wimbledon, a bit like Cheltenham. Wimbledon, we just scraped that 2-1, and then they came to our place, we battered them. We could have scored 8-9 goals that day. Cheltenham, we lost 4-1. It was a weird game. We should have scored more in that one, but again, we went to their place, battered them 5-1. Lois, I think we should be able to turn around that 2-0 into one that we go and win, because I think we're just much better now. We're creating more, we're scoring more. Izzy has been excellent, scoring goals, making goals. Woody coming back has been really important. I mean, we look strong going forward, but we've also, I mean, you got to remember, we had a period of time where we didn't have Puds, we didn't have Was, they were both out injured, and we were, Charlie's having to move things around. This is pretty much the first time where he's got access to almost the entire squad. And look at the difference it's making. So, yeah, no, I'd expect us to be able to beat Lewis. So I'd be surprised. I would be very disappointed if we don't take all 3 points on that.
So looking ahead to next season, are you already planning for next season for both teams?
There's something we haven't talked about this season, County Cup.
For the men?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we're waiting to see what happens between Leighton and Luton.
Yes, that was postponed last Saturday, wasn't it? Or Tuesday?
Look, there's a couple of potential tasty ties. We know Leighton well. We've played them a few times over the year in various cups and in the league. And if they beat Luton, that would be a great game. Look, if we end up having Luton, I know they're a small club, but we would, probably just get through that and then focus on the final, which could be interesting because it could be a tie with Bedford Town in the final. That would be chaos. I think we all want it secretly, even if you say you don't want it. We all want it. They're doing excellent. I mean, I think they'll stay up, but I think that's like an exciting prospect, like a little game against Luton, and then potentially who I'd expect us to batter, and then perhaps Bedford Town in the final.
Yeah, Bedford Town in the final of the County Cup.
Can you imagine that?
At Kenilworth Road. Yeah, that would be mental.
Yeah, the online abuse will stack up on that one.
So now looking to next season, you planning for next season?
Yeah, thinking about it a lot. I mean, it's hard to plan. It's easier to plan the women's than the men's because it's going to be very hard for the women to get into those, either win it or get into the playoff spot. So my expectation is we're not going to get relegated. So my expectation is we're in Tier 3 next season. So I've already met with Charlie and said, look, we've made progress this year. We're now training 3 times a week. What do you want to add next year? What's the next step for the women's side? The men's is hard to plan because we don't know where we'll be. There's a world we're in step 2. It's a non-zero chance. I expect us to finish in the playoffs, and then who knows? It'll be tough. There'll be good sides in there, but we would have our shot. And so until we know that, it's hard to plan for the men's because if we go into step 2, there'll have to be some big changes. If we're still in step 3, then it will be, again, talk to Rob. What progression do you need? At some point we need a new stadium. At some point we need a training centre. These are all things that are on my mind, things that we're working on, long-term plans for the club. But yeah, it's just really hard to plan until you know where you'll be. It will be quite interesting on the men's because it will be a very small window of planning. If we are fortunate enough somehow to get into those playoffs and win it, we're going to have a very tiny window before it's into step 2. But I'm not planning on one or the other. I'll probably start working on plans on both. Just go, if we're in step 3, what do we do next year? If we're in step 2, that's what we'll do. But yeah.
And so just one final word to the fans for the rest of the season.
Keep coming. Yeah, thanks. Thanks to everyone. The support has always been great. It's hard building support for a new club. The first two seasons, we averaged the highest crowds in our divisions, but I'm not sure. I think Leighton did last year when we were in step 4, and then this step 3. You've got people like Howzo, and they sometimes get crowds of 1,000. We're still in the 400 to 500, sometimes a bit under, sometimes a bit over, but it's still incredible that we've gone from, I think it was about 40 people the first time we took over the club, to having games where there are hundreds of people come in. We just need to keep working on growing that. Good work you've been doing. Thanks, Sebi. And just thanks to the fans. Keep coming down, bring some friends, come down, support us, and we'll do our best to keep winning games.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Pete, and we'll do this again at the end of the season.
Yeah, thanks, Sebi.